Hello and welcome to SirSmuggler's Let's Play, episode 16 of season 2. So yet another episode where my microphone was muted, so you're just gonna have to bear with me when I try to remember what I was doing. So hopefully you can still hear me over those annoying chickens. My farm producing very well, so I thought it would be a good idea to put in a stop lever so I can actually keep it turned off and not produce tons and tons of chickens when I don't need them. But first let's kill some of them. I mean, yeah, that's much better. So yeah, apparently I've done most of the work already. So the timer that controls this, the dispenser and the transposers, if you apply a redstone signal to a timer, it actually stops and doesn't pulse anymore until you remove the redstone signal, at least if you apply it from the right side. So I used the red alloy wires here to get the signal from this lever to the timer. So when I flip the lever, the system is turned off and no more eggs are going to be shot out from the dispenser. So that will come in handy, I think, because, well, I don't want to overproduce anything. I'm just going to have to avoid it anyway, so. And yeah, that should take care of the farm. So next up, let's take a look at my bees. So I have been working hard with breeding bees, and let's see what we got. We got a crazy chicken sitting on this apiary. So I got some imperial and industrious purebred branches. That's nice. And yeah, let's pick up some eggs, why not? So I'm not really sure where I went from here, but time to analyze some bees, I guess. So one of the interesting traits is the pollination, at least if you want to get into the new tree species from forestry. So I got here the rural bee, another one of the antlion species, and they had faster pollination. That's the fastest pollination trait I've found so far. So I want to use those to get more crossbred leaf blocks faster. And when you do breed trees, well, in this area where I have my apiaries at the moment, I have pretty much just let them run and hope for mutations and new species. I don't really care what the traits that they inherit from each other and stuff like that. So this is just to try and get new species as fast as possible. But if you do want to get more into tree breeding and actually try and get specific traits into specific species of trees and stuff like that, you might want to, well, you definitely want to do it a little more systematically. So you probably want to set up an apiary in an area where there are no trees and just plant the two trees that you actually want to combine. So that's what I'm going to do next. You saw me looking out over that field to my right where there's very little trees, well, no trees, because it's a flat, whatever it's called, grassy plain thingy. So I'm gonna set up a apiary there, and I'm gonna automate it so I don't have to switch the bees every time the queen dies, because that is annoying. I mostly keep the apiaries manual as long as I am actually breeding and trying to get new species and trying to get different traits into different species, because well, it's hard to automate that in any reliable way. But once you have a species that you're happy with, a stable line, you might want to automate it. So apiarist pipe, of course, is something you're going to need for that. So basically I will pump out everything from the apiary, and the apiarist pipe will sort it and make sure that the bees goes back into the apiary and the products go somewhere else, probably into a chest somewhere. And chickens are everywhere. And if I leave that farm running for long, it's, well, they escape, let's just say, and we have chickens absolutely everywhere, and there's tons of them. So I really needed that off switch. Anyway, let's see what we got here. So of course you need redstone engine or something to power the pipe to actually pull out from the apiary. And I'm just going to keep that one running constantly. There's no need to have any automation in that, because it won't pull out queens. It won't pull out from the drone or princess/queen slots. It will only pull out from the output slots. So that's okay. So the apiarist pipe is going to be set up to send any bees down the black line, and any item to the blue line, to the chest. And let's see, I probably should have another line somewhere. A third line, because eventually the apiary is going to be full of drones, or if you don't have a pure line, you're going to have drones that don't stack, so then it's going to be overflowing a lot sooner, because there's only room for one drone stack in the apiary. So items down the blue path, down to the chest, and the green is set up to anything. And the way the apiarist pipe work is that the bees and items sorting has priority over the anything. So if there's a valid path for a bee and you have that one set to filter out bees, it won't go down the anything path. But if the apiary is full and it can't accept any more bees, then the bees will go down the anything path instead. And you saw me crafting up some, or at least showing the void pipe. So when I'm testing this, I want to have a chest where the excess bees go to. But once everything is up and running, I'm going to replace that with a void pipe to just get rid of all the drones that I don't need. And let's see. Yeah, I'm going to start off with just the vanilla trees. So I'm going to start with an oak and a spruce. Let's see what I can get. And I'm going to try and document what species I can get from what combinations of trees. I'm not sure if it's like the bees, that specific combinations give specific new species, or if it's just any tree can give any new species. Not sure, so that's part of the things I want to test out here and do a little researching. I've searched for that kind of information on the wiki and forestry wiki, of course, and but I haven't found anything, so we'll see. If you know anything, feel free to post it in the comments. I would greatly appreciate that. So it seems like it's functioning as it should now. And here goes the bees, and hopefully they'll go into the apiary. And they do. Except for those drones that would not stack. They were sent down that path. So system working as intended. Excellent. And I got a nice oak tree from that sapling. Just the right size. So now I just have to wait and see. And hope that I get lots of leaf blocks that are crossbred. And next I probably want to build a house of some sort to live in when I work with this area. So I cleared a flat space here where I'm gonna build my forestry station. So I will work on that next, and yeah, I'll be back when it's ready, I think. Apparently I decided it would be a good idea to have another apiary here to speed up the process a bit. And I actually remember kind of what I did here. I was trying to explain the setup here with the void pipes. And it's funny because when I build things on camera, well, I guess my mind is kind of split between building and talking, so it doesn't work quite as well as it should. So I thought it would work quite well what I built here, but as I explained it to you, I realized that the path for bees will always be considered valid even if the apiary is full, since it's not piping directly into the apiary. It's the apiary's pipe, that is. It's piping bees into a pipe, and that pipe will always be valid even if the apiary itself is not. So I'm gonna have to change this up a bit. I mean, it's not disastrously wrong. Only thing that would happen is that bees would drop onto the ground instead of going into the void pipe. But well, I want things to work as intended, and it's just not tidy to drop things on the ground. So I'm gonna fix this. There, much better. So the apiary's pipe needs to be directly adjacent to the apiary for that overflow trick to work. So yeah, that looks better. And the items, that's the honeycombs, are going to go down into the ground here and follow this pipe that goes to somewhere. Let's see. And well, just explaining this yet again. I think I was explaining the priorities of things, that anything is the lowest priority. So a bee will go to the bee path if at all possible before it goes to the any path. And now that my bee lines are pure, that is there's no difference between the genetic setting of the queen and the drones, or rather the princess and the drones. So all drones will stack. So I'm going to have a full stack of drones in there before they start being voided. And let's have a look at where the items go, shall we? Ta-da! So this is my forestry station. Made a nice little flag on top there. Made it with wool blocks, or rather cut up wool blocks with the red power handsaw into slabs, so it looks a little bit thinner. The downside is that it didn't connect quite to the flagpole. And this is the interior, and experimenting a bit with different wood kinds here. So it's silver lime and mundane larch, I believe. And of course we're going to need a furnace, just because it looks nice. I don't know if I'm ever going to actually use it, but... And somewhere to sleep. So, not too bad. And there's plenty of room in here to expand with more chests and maybe a centrifuge to handle the honeycombs, things like that. And here's the first mutated leaf block. Excellent. Yeah, and both apiaries, well, this one's not activated, but let's go. Here comes the bees, and hopefully this one's also configured correctly and they will go into the apiary and not be voided. Looking good. And for some reason it's always the princess that goes last when you pump things out with the wooden pipe. A bit annoying, but what you gonna do? So I got two rural lines going here, and I'm using the rurals because, as I said earlier, they have the fastest pollination that I have gotten so far. Eventually I am going to breed that trait into other species that produce things that might be more interesting than the wheaty comb you get from the rural bee. I don't really need any wheat, so, well, not more than I can easily get from the farm in the village. So let's just clean this up and be done with it. So here we are. Everything's running as it should, and yeah, I'm quite pleased with this forestry station here. It looks really cozy and yeah, I like it a lot. It's gonna get some minor adjustments later on, but it's a good start. So let's go have a look from a distance and see how it looks there. And here we are, a view from afar. I'm really pleased with the flag at the top there. It's I tried it first with the standard wool blocks, but they're just too big. You need to build on a larger scale to make that look good. Much bigger houses you can use full blocks and make it look nice, but on this small house I kind of needed to go with the slabs. So yeah. As I said, they don't quite connect to the flagpole, but it's a minor thing and you can't really see it from afar, so it's okay. And with that, it's time to wrap up this episode. So thank you very much for watching, and I hope I see you again. Until next time, bye bye.